What if the most powerful longevity upgrade available to you isn't a prescription, a procedure, or an expensive supplement protocol? It's a modification to something you already do every single morning. Coffee is one of the most studied longevity beverages in medical literature. But researchers have uncovered something most people miss entirely. When specific natural powders are combined with coffee, the result isn't simply additive. Each amplifies the other, producing biological effects that neither creates alone. Metabolic pathways activate, inflammation markers drop, and the body's repair systems switch on. In this video, we count down 5 natural powders, ranked least to most powerful, that transform your morning cup into a longevity protocol backed by peer-reviewed science. Stick with us through number 1, an amino acid shown in clinical research to reduce biological age at the cellular level. Most people have never heard of it in this context. All studies are listed in the description. Now, number 5, raw cacao powder. Raw, unprocessed cacao is one of the most flavanol-dense substances ever measured. And the clinical evidence for what it does to the aging brain is substantial. The mechanism: your cerebral arteries narrow with age, restricting oxygen delivery to neurons. Cacao's flavanols stimulate nitric oxide production, relaxing arterial walls and restoring blood flow. Think of it as clearing years of mineral buildup from aging pipes and letting full pressure run through again. Left unaddressed, memory retrieval slows, processing speed drops, and the hippocampus, your brain's archive, begins losing volume faster than biology requires. The Cacao trial, a randomized controlled study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, followed 90 elderly adults for 8 weeks. The high flavanol cacao group improved 10.5 points on cognitive composite scores, showed elevated BDNF levels, and achieved measurably better blood pressure control compared to the control group. Add 1 tablespoon of raw organic cacao to coffee, cooled to around 160 Fahrenheit, and blend with a small frother. Avoid Dutch processed cocoa. The alkalizing process destroys most of the active compounds. Eleanor, 71, a retired librarian, had started losing names mid-sentence, something that unsettled her daily. 6 weeks of cacao coffee later, her word recall had visibly improved. Her daughter noticed before she did. Next, a spice that stabilizes blood sugar from the very first dose. Number 4, Ceylon cinnamon, not the cassia variety on most grocery shelves. Cassia cinnamon contains coumarin, which at higher doses poses documented risks to liver health. Ceylon cinnamon, sourced from Sri Lanka, carries only traces of it, and significantly more of the proanthocyanidins that act directly on glucose metabolism. The mechanism: Ceylon cinnamon's active compounds mimic insulin activity at the cellular level, improving how efficiently your cells absorb glucose, while simultaneously slowing carbohydrate breakdown in the gut. Blood sugar rises more gradually, stays more stable, and falls without the sharp energy crash. Unchecked blood sugar swings, sustained systemic inflammation, accelerating arterial damage, and the hours-long cognitive slump that follows every poorly controlled meal. A 2025 randomized controlled trial published in PLOS ONE followed adults supplementing with Ceylon cinnamon extract for 12 weeks. Results: significantly reduced fasting plasma glucose, measurably decreased insulin resistance, and improved beta cell function versus placebo. Add half a teaspoon to your coffee grounds before brewing. Hot water extracts the active compounds more effectively than stirring into already brewed coffee. George, 68, a retired accountant, managing borderline blood sugar for 2 years, began adding Ceylon cinnamon each morning. After 8 weeks, his fasting glucose had dropped 14 points. His doctor asked what he had changed. Next, a powder researchers say actually repairs brain tissue. Number 3. Lion's mane mushroom powder. Most people think about brain health as prevention, slowing the rate of decline. Lion's mane changes that equation entirely. Its unique compounds, hericenones and erinacines, cross the blood-brain barrier and directly stimulate nerve growth factor production, the biological signal your brain uses to build, repair, and maintain neurons. Think of your neural pathways as roads. Lion's mane activates the repair crew, patching damaged sections and building new routes around ones that are blocked. Without that repair signal, cognitive processing slows, memory consolidation weakens, and the myelin sheath protecting nerve fibers gradually thins, accelerating every downstream decline. A double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial on adults with mild cognitive impairment found that those taking lion's mane, mycelia, for 49 weeks showed significant improvements in both cognitive function scores and daily living assessments, while the placebo group continued to decline throughout the same period. Look for a powder that has gone through both hot water and alcohol extraction. This two-stage process draws out the complete range of bioactive compounds that neither method captures on its own. 1 teaspoon daily, added to coffee cooled below 160 Fahrenheit. Margaret, 74, a former schoolteacher, had described her thinking as foggy since retirement. After 10 weeks of lion's mane coffee, her concentration had returned, enough that she started writing again. Next, a compound most people associate with athletes, but what it does to the aging brain is remarkable. Number 2, creatine monohydrate. This is not a bodybuilder supplement. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's total energy, and creatine is the fastest energy currency neurons use to fire, consolidate memories, and sustain focus. A 2024 systematic review and meta-analysis published in Frontiers in Nutrition examined creatine's cognitive effects across multiple studies in older adults. 5 of 6 trials reported measurable improvements in memory and attention. No adverse effects were recorded across any of the studies reviewed. Add 5 grams, 1 level teaspoon, to your morning coffee. Creatine works through gradual saturation. Full cognitive benefits typically emerge after 3 to 4 weeks of consistent daily use. Thomas, 69, described sharper focus and faster word retrieval within a month. My brain finally started keeping up with my thoughts, he said. Number 1 changes the game entirely. Number 1, glycine powder. Glycine is the smallest amino acid in the human body and among the most consequential for how we age. It is the primary structural component of collagen, a precursor to glutathione, your body's master antioxidant, and a key regulator of autophagy, the cellular cleaning process where damaged proteins are cleared and tissue is regenerated. Here is what surprised researchers. A 2025 clinical study published in PubMed found that a glycine-dominant collagen amino acid formula reduced biological age by 1.4 years within 6 months of use, measured through validated epigenetic markers. That is not marginal. That is cellular rejuvenation by quantifiable measure. Glycine also acts at NMDA receptors in the brain, producing calm, focused clarity, while directly counteracting the anxiety-amplifying edge of caffeine. Morning glycine in coffee sharpens focus. Evening glycine in tea or decaf deepens sleep and supports overnight tissue repair. Two windows of effect from one compound. Add 3 to 5 grams directly to your morning coffee. It dissolves instantly and adds a faint natural sweetness with no aftertaste. No blending required. Barbara, 76, began adding glycine after her doctor flagged early inflammatory markers on routine blood work. 3 months later, her sleep had deepened noticeably. The morning stiffness in her joints had eased, and her next blood panel showed inflammation levels. Her doctor hadn't expected to see that soon. These 5 powders together address longevity from every biological angle. Raw cacao restores cerebral circulation. Cinnamon stabilizes blood sugar. Lion's mane repairs neural pathways. Creatine fuels the brain at the cellular level. And glycine resets the aging process at the epigenetic level. None of it requires a prescription. 5 powders. Raw cacao for cerebral blood flow. Ceylon cinnamon for metabolic stability. Lion's mane for neural repair. Creatine for brain energy. Glycine for cellular longevity. The research is there. The tools are affordable. Choose one powder tomorrow morning and let the science work.